Hello there, and today on TerraTech Worlds for version 0.6, we're going to teach you how to make a simple airplane, a cargo plane, and how all these parts function, and how to get your plane to actually fly around and work relatively properly as you're, going through this experience. And of course, the plane parts are just over here. So there's that little island where you buy the boat parts with the trader over there, and the trader is just over there. So if you didn't know where the trader was, it is just straight in this direction over here. You can follow it by following it on your map, and you see that little ping over there to your west and get over there. But as you can see, this little guy right here, the Glizero, this is just a mini version right here. I want to show this off for the cheap version in case you don't have enough money to buy the next level cab and a more cargo space than just one, the single one right here. And I just did that was a bad landing for me, but anyways, it was very versatile on turning back and forth and flying forward. And we'll fly around with the bigger one there, and I'll show you the dynamics of how these planes work and the different parts. And you see I don't have very much variety on my parts right here because right now the other parts really don't do very much for your thing. But the thing you want to know most about these airplanes is that K button right there. So you hit the K button, you'll be able to see your center of mass, your firing arcs. But right now for airplanes, you're looking at that little blue dot, and that little blue dot has to be going straight ahead forward, and that's where your thrust is going to be. Like if you're making a helicopter, you want your helicopter to have center of mass, and you want that blue dot going straight up in the air if you're going to make a helicopter version with the free propellers that you can use right now. But this version right here, I'm not using those free ones because an update might happen and they might actually start costing some actual capacity on your tech. So it would be useless to actually have a guide showing you how to build planes when you can't build them anymore because of that. But anyways, as you can see, if you're going to copy a small build like this and you only have the small little cab from before that has that 240 capacity, this is what you're going to have to copy exactly to actually fly around like that. Because if you move these wings down just over here and you don't use these angle parts, you're not going to have that straight line, and it's going to be a whole different ball game on your ability to move up and down and be able to turn your tech around in circles and roll it basically, so you can actually get that move around properly as I see fit properly instead of incredibly slow or not at all, which will happen in most cases. And that's why we're using these parts right here. This is like one of the few parts, if they're facing down like this, they actually give you really good lift, and it's like a more of a stabilized lift for your tech versus the other putting it somewhere else basically, right? If I put this angle way on the back right here, I wouldn't get the up and down movement that you needed, and it would just give me lift in the wrong places that you don't need it. You could just move your propellers to different spots to balance that out there, and then follow your directions by adjusting the blue dot. But it can be tricky trying to figure this out on your own, so you can just go ahead and copy it right away if you're just going to do something small like this. But the thing to remember is parts like this are essential. Then it's just the basic wings, and we are using the plane wheels because they are very light, and they do actually help out the aerodynamics. If you stick regular wheels on there, it's a whole different ball game on your wing setup and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the more wings you have, the more glide you're going to have. And I tried moving these wings around and moving these ones and taking them off, and but this is the minimum that you could really need to have to be able to fly to my standards at least. So yeah, I needed to have these wings. I take them off there, I just don't get the up and down movement I needed to, and the glide is a little bit different on there. This taking them off doesn't affect the center of mass at all. So yeah, you can take these ones off too. It doesn't affect that center of mass at all. But the flying is going to be a lot different now, right? So yeah, you're flying. It's still a little twitchy. We still got some up and down on there, but yeah, it's really rolly, right? So it's just, and you're not gliding anymore, right? So that's what those wings are doing, right? They're making that a lot more stable than it is now. So yeah, we don't really want to fly around like that now, do we? No. So let's just go back to the base here, and I can get here. I can do it. I can try and do it. Fly around there. I didn't do it. I didn't do it good. Get up. Okay. Get over here. I'll roll the rest of the way instead of trying to fly it without the wings. I didn't want to always like that putting on there, but it would have been better to actually do that and put some time into it and change it over there. But let's go to the real one right here. So once you do buy the cab and you have that 340 capacity, and you are going to use the bigger cab right there for yourself if you're going to, the other cabs you could buy at that time are going to be the 300 one here, so that's 40 less for that one. And the other Rover cab would be, I think it's this one, that Journeyman cab right here is 240. No, This one here, 320. So yeah, 20 less, and the turbo to all wheels doesn't take effect to your propulsion units anyway, so that wouldn't really help you out either. So none of those other techs are going to help you out for your plane. So yeah, let's use the one that has the most room, which is that heavy hauler cab. So yeah, none of the, for the extra capacity for yourself. But yeah, let's get started onto the tech right here. So as you can see, this is the front, and we added some more propellers to the front, and that will give us a little bit more speed, and it also was needed because I added the extra cargo thing on there. So adding the extra, the 2 cargo slots on there, which is, you know, I'd call standard, because the third one costs too much for some things, and you don't really need more than 2 for flying around. Like I said, I didn't find I needed more than 2 when I'm traveling back and forth from farming runs, because most of my techs are stuck at 2 anyways. So you know, you farm to your full, then go back, and that's about it. Well, you do whatever you feel like. But yeah, I just stick these other propellers at the front right there to actually stabilize it out there for the propulsion then at the back. But yeah, it's still going to be the same wings facing down because we get that left. I just added some extended wings over here to get that more of the up and down movement. And you need this at the front of your tech for that too, which is really weird, but that's just how you're going to have to build it. So that's why I had to extend over there. Just having the wings was just not good enough for me for the up and down movement on there. And then for the back wings, I had to add another set of these steep wings to actually get that stability and that movement for the up and down also for that. And that also helps for left and right. So these things do the both, right? They help you for the up and down and the rolling. So they do a little bit of both, and they also help for the lift of your plane. So I think they're the best ones because they cover 3 different things for the actual plane parts. At least I think so in my book, at least. Yeah, so I had to add some more wings over there. It starts getting expensive, but at least these things are still free at the moment. Yeah, they might be a little bit harder to build later on if they don't become free. But they really got to adjust the cost for everything at least. But yeah, propellers at the back. That's how simple this build is, though. You know, cargo, wings in the front, all just facing down, wings facing over flat. The simpler, the better. Like I tried a whole bunch of other different ways to do it, make it complicated, make it look nice. It just doesn't fly the same. It just doesn't work the same. So let's go ahead and fly it. I don't think we flew this one yet, right? So let's get above this. Let's go out to the wall. Let's go out to the water because it's the fog in the swamp sucks. We'll level this out. There we go. We're leveled out, and I'm just hitting the gas, right? So I'm not moving up or moving down. It's going relatively, like, completely straight, which is what you want. And if I want to go up, I can just hit the down button, right? And I can go down pretty good. This is how much it turns right now. So that's your barrel rolls, and that is not as twitchy as the other one, but that is still really good for me for that, and it still rolls really fast, and that's good. So I can just roll to my side and then hit down and then go ahead and do the turn like that, or let go of the gas and turn faster for that roll. But yeah, just roll around, twitch, balance it out there as you see fit. There you go. I gotta let go of the button, turn, get straighter, then go hit the button, balance it out. There we go. Let's just go straight back to base. But as you can see, you got lots of control. It can be really twitchy, which, you know, you want that. You want that under control. You just gotta, you know, fine tune your skills at flying. And I don't fly that often, so I'm not really that great at it yet. But yeah, and it does get stuck. That's what I don't like about the pavement. If you didn't notice that before, these little ruts, your wheels, your flying wheels will get stuck in there, and that could be a pain in the butt. Definitely. So hopefully they adjust that and fix that so your wheels don't get broken for just driving around on pavement, or just build your thing on there. But I think you'll still get caught on those grooves on that regular stuff over there too with these crappy wheels. So that is the simple build you can have for this. We can go ahead and check out the other parts that we have for our plane, which is the boosters, which don't really help very much, and you could use other boosters. Actually, I should do some more testing on these boosters. Rocket fuel is very easy to get now. Once you have the machinery, it's very cheap to build for the rocket fuel, and those little prototype ones that have no cost. They are a lot slower, so yeah, if you put these things on instead, you'd be moving a little bit slower than you are right now, but they are free, of course. And that is it for the plane parts there. It is just the hull parts that we have, and there's tons of hull parts, and you can adjust them at different angles if you wanted to. If I had a different build on here, I could stick these up like this, right? If I had a little bit more wider space somewhere, if I was using a different if I was using from frames and I was wider, you can stick these up and down like this, and that will provide the lift for flipping, up and down, right? So that movement that you want that goes up and down, sometimes you'll make a plane and it just won't go up and down. And these parts right here, this direction will actually help with that a little bit better than some of the other ways you can do. You can sit there and add. These things are all quite expensive, and they do have some turning on there, but they're just not as effective enough. And I haven't really seen much of an effect of this one right here, because it's supposed to have some type of a holder. It just says it's a holder on there, right? So, and it doesn't have the extra room on there. So this is something you might want to add for wheels or something, or it doesn't do very much in my opinion. No matter what angle I put this on there, it doesn't really have much of an effect on my wings, and doesn't help me out, and it just costs money to do nothing. And then same for the tail fins, and that's the frame. The frame doesn't cost anything either. You could sit there and buy that and use that as connectors inside of any of your techs. And it doesn't have much hit points, but it has a lot of connections, right? So you do have a lot of connections on this thing right here, so you can stick these all over the place on other techs if you wanted to, and use that since they're free at the moment if you wanted to cheap the game out. But that's all there is for the plane parts. I don't use the prototype tails or anything like that either for most of the builds on here. So this is the most effective cargo plane that I have at the moment for speed and versatility, and just to fly from flying to base. Some of my older builds were just basically helicopter builds that I use for flying around in the desert. This is what I mean, like the build like this is what I was using it for on the first my first test runs on planes, on trying to build a regular plane with the regular parts, all the plane parts, and so that's what I had to do. That's when I actually used those parts that tilt up there, and then use these things right here to actually get that up and down movement. Without these things on there, and not a weird ending build like that, I just wasn't getting the turning, and that's why I put these ones on there too, for the actual plane build for myself. And if you do something like this for a regular plane, you get that super fast lift off. It's just one propeller, and it's going pretty fast, and the up and down movement is good enough, as you can see, and it rolls pretty well too, and it glides very well. It's super gliding, right? So we're just gliding down slowly. I'll just go backwards here. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna glide a little bit. Tap it. There we go. A couple taps to get that. You super glide. If you're going down and you hit forward, you'll start flying forward and not landing. And it's very gliding that way. But we can get a slow down on the look in there in case you want to build a base build of a regular airplane, or hand quotes regular airplane build. It's just not really that regular, but it's still under the fundamental design of having that thing sitting down there. It's better for the wheels, and the small wheels at the back, so you're tilted up and you don't have to worry about lifting off at the start, that kind of thing. Oh, I got the other propellers at the side there too. Forgot about that, so that helps for that. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out some of the other ones right here. And this is that's the cargo plane 2, cargo plane 3. So this is like the earlier, that's 520 cargo plane. This is the 340 helicopter one right here. So you get the 340 helicopter build. You tab in there, and space. There we go. Tab in there, space. You got the K straight up there. With the helicopter, this helps provide the lift. The ones on the side here, they help with the rolling a little bit. They're not really needed, but they just they help stabilize your helicopter build. And it's a simple build. You just stack the two frames together. This one here, I needed an extra space in the middle because the cab is extra long on this one here. So I added a little some armor basically, right? So I got some armor plates in there to connect those two small cabs, and then the armor right there, and then the wheels right here. We got some medium extended wheels going down there, so we can drive around and then fly, and then everything's all nice and centered. If you're looking at some builds, it travels a little bit, but we're mostly looking about up and down movement, right? So we can fly off real fast using the free propellers. We can tilt nice and slowly. Then if we want to go that direction, we just go that direction. I want to turn around. That's a different story, turning and navigating it, but it still functions pretty well. Just level yourself out, and then you're good to go. And just tap the controls, and then you can glide in there and land wherever you want, nice and easy, and then you're good to go. And then if you need something, what the main goal is for this is getting into the desert, so and then having all that stuff. So that's what this plane right here is for. The bigger cargo plane for the actual one that's been used most of the time for me is this one right here, because the bigger cab, and it has 4 heat sinks on there, so I don't have to worry about ducking into the water and getting that there. But if you are looking for the optimal build for the desert stuff right there, I think it is a one water tank with one little thing on there for your radiator, basically, and then 2 of these heat sinks are needed to survive in the desert, mostly. Unfortunately, the 2 water radiators don't help you at all. That looks like it's helping you, but you still burn to death, even though it says that your water, you're cooled. It just doesn't work. It's so sad. But anyways, this one build here is relatively the same as the other one. These 2 small frames are just stuck together. Nothing in between them because the cab is at the front and downward because of the connections. And you get center of mass more into the middle versus the up for the propellers and stuff like that. And the wheels connected to the sides, that type of thing. You know, the wheels connected to the sides there. The frames are sideways for connecting. Yeah, it's really that simple. That's all there is for the parts. A couple frames and then some wheels and then propellers and some wings to stabilize it. And now this guy flies around in the desert. It does take up a lot of room just to do that. But yeah, now we can fly around in the desert anytime we want there and go to any spot that you want. And it's still just helicopter flying, you know. The same controls as before, just fly around, glide, and land. So there you have it. I would recommend right now taking advantage of the for free big propellers, but you know, if you're watching this and say, hey, those things aren't free no more, it's going to be a little bit harder to build something like this and have it function properly. But you can probably try and get away with maybe 4 of these propellers, and then using rocket fuel. So for the boosters, the regular boosters that work really well. Where are they under? They're in the tools or modules. Boosters are under, where are they? I never know where they are, right? Like, where do they put these things all the time? They're not weapons. They're not. Is it under propulsion? Yeah, the boosters are under propulsion. You can go ahead and start using medium boosters instead, but they cost 30. So who knows what these are going to cost? But you know, you could just go back and forth on that. And whatever it is, then the next video is going to be on the how to build the awesome frame. I think this is a frame right here, power tank frame, getting plus 10 in all your stats, and you know, going up to that max, you know, capacity. Well, not all the stats, so all the stats that you can get from you know, modding the stuff, and I can show you the details on getting this guy built right here for that. And then later on, you know, you build the bigger version that flies around and just destroys everything. And where is that one there? Not the boss killer, but page 1. I think it's stuck on there somewhere, maybe. Nope, not page 1. Not page 1. I gotta delete some of these things to get rid of them all. I think no. Let's see. No, maybe it's over here. Anyways, there it is, cold one. This is my last one right there. There it is, all the stuff on there, you know, extra wheels and flying and digging and mining and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, that'll be the next video if you're interested in that for you. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.